What's the worst experience you've had in an interview that makes you hate us so much?
The worst experience?
Yeah.
I'm just camera shy, so like, there's a lot of cameras right now.
First play of this one almost looked like the play from Holman.
I know.
What was it like to just get in the middle of a play right off the bat like that and kind of start off with a strong statement?
It's because that's the bomb play that the offense loves to run. They've been running it all spring ball, and like I seen it. They motioned the tight end to go 3 open. They jumped it back to my side. I was like, oh, boom, he's gonna do it. So I mean, I tried to jump it. If I didn't have the elbow brace, I would have had flexibility to catch it. But no excuses. I got to catch it. But it was a fun experience.
Is that just where you guys are at in the spring at this point now? I mean, does both sides know what they're doing pretty much every play?
Oh yeah, for sure. The O-line knows where our stunts are coming from. The back end, even the front, the D-line, we know their checks, like inside runs, outside runs, counters, all that.
How quickly would something like that come together for you, like three years ago, of just like seeing this play, identifying this play, jumping on it, and
man, it would have taken probably a couple months. I mean, I would have been more worried about doing my job than what play they can run. Yeah.
I feel like you guys up front maybe set the tone in this game a little bit. Kind of maybe what was that tone meant to be?
Yeah, I mean, the tone that that's the tone that we always got to set. You know, it always starts up front. That's the mentality we always come in with. And, you know, just carrying off of last season, you know, we didn't do a good job of what we wanted to. And so this year's really our statement year, especially with up front. All the guys are going to leave after this year. You know, it's our last year to show out, so it's time to show out.
What was it like having you on one side and Jordan on the other, rushing the passer and all that stuff? You kind of get a sense of what that might be like come fall?
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, knowing that I got Brandon Dorless or Jordan Birch, you know, one of the vet guys on the other side, it lets me work my own edge, you know, instead of having to worry about the quarterback escaping on the other side. But it's nice to know that there's that type of player set over there.
Your team green, but is there a sense of pride when the defense shuts out both offenses in the first quarter and there's no points on the board until like 5 minutes into the second? Is that something you're pretty pleased with?
Of course. You know, yeah, I'm always team defense, but I mean, at the end of the day, we're all a team. But I think we definitely did show out what we have coming this season. So I think it was a good job overall for both sides, yellow and green.
What comes next for you? Like this offseason, what's the focus? Like, what are your priorities, even maybe outside of football too?
Graduate. I graduate June, so that's my biggest step. And then after that, you know, focus all ball. My biggest focus for myself, football-wise, is, you know, get in shape. Make sure I get in shape so I can get to the ball. You know, watching league players. I've been watching Michael Parsons a lot lately. You know, he's always getting to the ball. Whether the ball's going to the field and he starts at the boundary, he's always going to get to the ball regardless. And even if he doesn't make the play, he's always going to be there just in case something does happen, you know?
Right.
So that's my mentality.
How did you kind of identify him as somebody that, like, I want to watch a bunch?
Just watching a whole bunch of tape, and then just seeing different players. But, you know, I feel like Mike Parsons is a good person for me to view, just because I know that that's a skill set that I can put into my game this season, is getting to the ball, and that'll help the defense and myself as well.
What's Coach Lanning like on like a spring game Saturday? Like, is he like all in all the time? Does he joke around? I mean, it's just like what's his personality like for something like this? You know,
he has his moments. You know, he'll make jokes here and there, but when it comes down to it, he's all game. I know after one drive, yellow defense was coming on, and Taki, my roommate's on the yellow team, and I tried to run over to give him a hug or just mess around with him, and Coach Lanning, all I hear is Coach Lanning's like, "Mase, no, get to the other sideline." Ah, damn, that's my roommate, but you know, it's all business when we're on the field. But now I can go give my roommate a hug.
How much respect do you have for Ty? I know he started off really, really tough, but finished really strong, and obviously on defense. But as you said earlier, on the same team, was that something that was encouraging to see him respond to that?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, and even overall, over the past couple of years, you know, Ty's always had to be in that role where to be ready or not, you know, and you know, I think he's stuck around. Solid. He's done a solid job of sticking around and, you know, being available. And, you know, that's just one thing about Ty. He's always going to work. He's not a big talk guy, but he's always going to put in the work. You know what I mean?
Did you see from the young guys off the edge, where anything kind of flashed to you, whether it be Mateo or Marion, any of those guys, anything kind of popped from some of the younger guys?
Yeah. I didn't get to focus on the yellow defense because we're going over our adjustments on the sideline, but I know from the green defense, I've seen a lot out of Tatum Teote. I know he dropped one in the end zone. Could have been a pick, but he's going to be a great player. Him and Mateo, I think, are going to be great players to watch here at Oregon for the next few years.
Overall for this defense, what do you think is the biggest jump you guys need to make before the season starts in the fall?
Say that again?
What do you think the biggest jump you guys can make before the season starts in the fall?
I think conditioning-wise for the whole front, like I mentioned before, getting to the ball, that's just going to be our biggest jump. We got to make sure get all of us up front in shape so that we can get to the ball after the ball's thrown, or even just perimeter plays, get to the ball.
Since you've been, because you had a couple of springs before the portal started, right? Mm-hmm. How has that changed like the dynamics of the locker room at all? Even just like, you know, there's some people that are trying to put good film on tape during spring or show out during the spring game. Like what's the locker room feel like in that kind of world?
We put a huge emphasis on connection.
Yeah.
And you know, with all this portal talk, you know, you don't know who's going, who's staying, and I think we do a great job at being connected throughout the whole process. You know, I've had a couple guys in my room leave. You know, most recently Anthony Jones. You know, I was close with him. I was getting him right. We were working each other. We were pushing each other this whole offseason. And you know, just hearing that he was jumped in the portal was kind of tough. But I mean, at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for yourself, and I think he's going to be great wherever he goes.
Is it always like surprising for you guys too? Like when we see something, it's like, oh my God, so and so jumped in the portal. Like, is that kind of how it goes out around the team too?
I mean, you have a few cases where there's guys that will come up and tell you that they're gonna, you know, hit the portal. But I mean, at the end of the day, my own observation is, you know, they're gonna do what's best for them. But you know, they're gonna do great. Yeah.
When there is a day like you had in spring where like 6 guys enter the portal, is that kind of weigh on some of you? Just I mean, obviously you want the best for them, but just that those people aren't going to be around for the future.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, Anthony, he was one of my biggest guys that I had in our room. He was going to show out this year, and you know, when he left, it was kind of tough at practice. We had 4 people in our position room, so it was like Andy drills was terrible. I was out there dying. I mean, we made the most out of it, but it's going to be a great year for all of us, regardless whether they stay or go.
Thank you, man. Thanks,
appreciate you guys.